There's the click. Couldn't come on yesterday. Could not come on yesterday. Good morning. That coffee is really weak. I gotta get some more coffee. I gotta put some more grounds in it. Ground it up. Do what I gotta do. All right, you guys. Good morning. Donovan Sadiq here, as known nationally as the Recovering Democrat. If you did not go to the Columbus Black Expo, you missed a barn burner. Tune in to my good friend Demetra Kay, and she will tell you all about her experience there. A lot of stuff that went down there. It was kind of raining, but for those that saw Demetra and saw Brother Phil and the whole African Diaspora Channel crew, we had a great time. Well, Ace, the owner, today's supposed to be my last day, and the owner came to me yesterday, and he needed me to do him a solid. A lot of vacations are happening. They don't have the time to put somebody in there. He's going on vacation with his family, so he asked me if it is possible, could I stay just a couple more weeks? And I told him, let me see what my political thing is, whatever, and I'll get back to him. Kind of made a little side deal, and trust me, it's lucrative to do that. And so a couple more weeks and I will be out of there. I mean, technically I'm done raising money for the veterans, so these last couple of weeks, it's only two additional more weeks, right? Last couple of more weeks is going to be for me. So I'm going to get something out of the deal because there's something I need anyway. I said, well, I'll be doing some stuff, so a little extra couple bucks isn't going to hurt, right? Right. So anyway, let's get straight to it. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Glad to be back. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, because I'm going to take this video, of course, put it on YouTube and get it out there. Do me a favor, if you haven't done it, download the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get it on Google Play, Apple Store. Also, do not forget to check Demetra Kay and I out on Sundays, especially on Sundays, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central Time. Shout goes out to those who may be sick, need prayer, all that other stuff. I'm not a religious type person. I am a Catholic, but I am not like a fanatical religious person. But I do believe in prayer. I do believe in a personal relationship with God. So that is what I'm into. It's funny, the older you get, the more conservative you get, and the more, at least in my experiences, the more in touch with your religion and your relationship with God, because we're having more time behind us than we are having in front of us. We don't know what the future is going to hold. Especially for my generation, a lot of us are checking out of here in our 50s. Let's be real about that. We are checking out in our 50s, and if you are black, you are worse than any other group when it comes to things that are bad for you. So we're number one when it's the bad shit, and we're dead last when it's the good shit. Okay, that's just how it's been rolling. So let's get into it. A lot of people have been DMing me, messaging me, talking about, wow, you're really silent about Trump giving reparations to the J6ers and all this other stuff. Well, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say about that? White man doing for his supporters. Isn't that what you're supposed to do in politics? You know, I don't know what it is that I'm seeing at this age, or ever since I became a recovering Democrat, this enlightenment that I have, but I see things in a totally different lens. If you are a white racist and you get elected to office, why would I be surprised that you are moving resources and things to your white racist organizations? That wouldn't be a surprise to me. So why is that a surprise to you guys? I just don't get it. The question isn't about if it's wrong or right. That isn't the question. I'm not surprised they do this. What do the Asians do? And I've got a lot of Asian friends. What do the Hispanics do? when they get into office. They move resources to their people. Blacks are the only ones that don't move resources to their own group. They do it for everybody else. That's a fact. It's already been proven. So my opinion on him giving reparations to people who tried to overthrow the government, you know, I mean, what can I do about it? But here's one thing I did figure out. Did you guys notice the president has the authority to make this slush fund and distribute reparations out there? He didn't need Congress. Did you guys notice that? We've been telling you guys for years it could be done. You do not need Congress. Now, an official act by Congress would push that thing through and probably get you a lot more money and a lot more things because it would be in law, but a executive order is a pseudo law. So when Obama was asked about reparations, well, you know, I can't do anything, you know, I got to go through Congress, and, you know, my hands are tied, I really can't do anything, my hands are tied. Donald Trump is bringing the pain to everybody, not just the black people, not just the Hispanics. If blacks are going to be uncomfortable, everybody's going to be uncomfortable, as far as I'm concerned. You know, I am not a Donald Trump supporter. I'm an independent. I've been an independent ever since Obama did nothing for black people. And I think that's where I got my epiphany of what's going on. But why are people surprised at what white racists do? I'm not. Why are people surprised? It is human nature that immigrants will do for their people first. When you go to Asia, if you go to Mexico, you go anywhere in the world, go over there and demand resources, and go over there without the proper paperwork and see what happens to you. This is what I tell the liberal. This is what I tell the liberal. They've hijacked the progressive meaning, because progressive used to be Republican. How many of you guys know that? Theodore Roosevelt, the Bull Moose Party, Republican. But see how they hijack these narratives and they water it down to make it seem ridiculous. There's nothing progressive about a party that is anti-black man, anti-black, trans, gay, blah, 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 pro-genocide, pro-abortion, they're anti-family, anti-God. I can't support personally, I can't support a party that does that. You're going to put people who came here illegally, give them all the resources, and come up with all the excuses of not taking care of the American people. Can't do it. I mean, that's what I say. But I sometimes question people who still champion for these people when they're doing it right in your face. State of the Union this year, Donald Trump said, we can agree that Americans should come first. And I'm paraphrasing. If you agree with me, please stand up. Democrats didn't stand up. Right in your face. They're telling you what they stand for. I didn't sign up to serve this country so that illegal people could walk across the border in a pseudo invasion of my country. I didn't join the military for that, because that's what it is. Most of the people that came across the border were military-aged men. And the children that happened to have come across the border with these people they were found not even to be the children of the people they were with, and a lot of these children have disappeared. It is estimated under the Biden administration in 4 years, the minimum people that came over here illegally is 11 million people. According to the census, people that identify themselves as black is 40 million. So let me tell you this, black people that out there. In 4 years, you cannot duplicate 11 million people to make up the difference. And for you black people that support illegal immigration, you have just now rigged the game against your own children and your grandchildren, because now they have to compete against people who have come here with their traditional racism against dark-skinned people, and now your kids have to compete against that. And we know that these people tend to gatekeep for their own people. This is what you've done. So last night in the Texas primary, Al Green lost. 80 years old, still thinks he has something to offer, gone. Have you guys noticed in the Democratic Party, a lot of these black congressional people are in their 70s, civil rights era people that have long sat on the seat way too long, and they need to go. Now, the person that beat him in the primary is no better if you look at his record, in my opinion. He's just a younger, indoctrinated Democrat that will do nothing for black people. I mean, he talks a good game. I hear you, but nothing tangible has ever come from this young man. And you're seeing this all over the place. Jasmine Crockett, campaign firm, I believe his name is Representative Menifee. And what does that tell you about the Democratic Party? Jasmine Crockett went against a former colleague of hers to oust him. So there's a civil war going on in the Democratic Party. So let's get into the Democratic autopsy, because that's a part of it. So let me go back. So in summary, Donald Trump giving J6ers reparations is no surprise to me. But look at the big picture. The big picture is, we now know that if a Democrat gets into the presidency, they can't use the excuse of, I got to go through Congress. Donald Trump has blown the doors off of how politics works and what they can do and what they can't do. So big ups Donald Trump, because again, the negative stuff that everybody sees in Donald Trump, let's look at the positive stuff. Even if you don't see it as a positive, let's look at it as the constructive stuff. You do not have to go to Congress to authorize reparations. The Bureau of Indian Affairs still exists and it's buried in the Department of Commerce. The Freedmen's Bureau was formed before the Indian Bureau was formed, but yet there is no Freedmen's Bureau. And yet that bureau still provides everything these Indian nations need in regards to their survival, their sovereignty, and their identity. So don't tell me anything about, oh, the native Indians are getting paid. They got their own land, they've got casinos, they got professional sports teams, all of this stuff based off the blueprint of the Freedmen's Bureau that no longer exists. They tried to set something like that up here in California. Corey Jackson, my representative in the Assembly, helped stop it. Asian and Latino representatives, as well as black representatives, they're the number one cause because they didn't even bring it to the floor, stopped black reparations that would have given every black person that is a descendant of a slave $1.2 million. That ain't a lot of money, but it's still something that is owed, and it's better than absolutely nothing. So just imagine if you're a father or a mother and you've got 5 or 6 kids and they all each get $1.2 million. Unbelievable. And let's talk about generational wealth. The CBC, the Immigrant Caucus, asking black athletes to forego their opportunities and their NIT money. For a lot of those people, that's generational wealth for them. That's their ticket out of badly managed black districts. Insanity. And then Hakeem Jeffries and them got the nerve to brag that they stopped a bill that would have paid these athletes for their likeness on video games, you know, and advertisements and commercials and all things like that. They bragged about that. This is why I say these parties are the same. The difference is the Democratic liberal acts like our friend, and they do these things behind the scenes. But I'm the crazy one, but I am a recovering Democrat. So let's look at the constructive things, the deconstructive that are constructive things that Donald Trump has shown black people what can be done. So now the Democrats have nothing to hide behind. And again, I only talk about Democrats because only the black people vote for one group, overwhelmingly 93% plus, which is why they figure they're going to get your vote anyway. They don't have to do anything for you. So my next topic is the Democratic autopsy. And I've been reading that. And of course, they did not want to release it. What had happened, from my understanding, and allegedly, it was going to be leaked by an insider. It went to CNN, and CNN, being a wing of the Democratic propaganda machine, said, "Hey, we've got this report. You know, do you guys want to get ahead of it, or do you know? Because we're about to leak it." And that's why it was released. Now, after reading this thing, and I'm still going through it, the number one reason why Kamala Harris was made to be the nominee without a primary was because the election laws forbid the $220 million that was raised by the Biden team to go anywhere else. So if you weren't on the ticket, you couldn't access that money. And then with what, 170 days till the election, $220 million is sitting there. They had no choice but to go with Kamala Harris because they did not have the time to raise that type of money against an established Republican machine. So that's number one. And in addition to that, Kamala Harris was a very, very bad candidate. I told you guys that from the very beginning. Being from California, she has failed upward. DEI. She was a DEI hire as a VP. Because if you guys look at the primaries, Joe Biden was forced to select a black woman. She was black woman adjacent because we know she's not a black woman. And he selected her. And in selecting her, he gave his own party the middle finger, knowing he wasn't going to support her. She was named the border czar. Let's stop with all the BS. Immigration is a hard situation, so she was set up to fail. I'm going to admit that. But at the same time, she isn't a very good person. She thinks she says these things that are very, you know, she could have said no. She could have said no. I don't know what back deal they did for her or whatever. Did she get some of the money? I don't know. But then one of the number one reasons was the money that was raised. $220-something million with a, 170 days to go. And Joe Biden not seeking re-election. But if you ask me, he never had any intentions of not running, even though he had said he was going to be a one-term place setter. But, you know, his mind and his wife, they all got to him and stuff, and he's just thinking everything is great. Woohoo! Some people have said, and I printed some of this stuff out, some of you guys have said, I don't understand economics. Um, I don't understand economics. The price of things started under Joe Biden toward the end of his presidency. Well, you can say that all you want. To the end of his presidency, it doesn't matter. It started under his presidency. Prices started going up when he started letting the illegals in. See, you don't understand economics. The more people you have demanding housing, housing prices go up. The less demand you have, prices go down. That's called the invisible hand of economics. The more people you have, the more demand you have for goods and services. The less people you have, if you have more supply than you have people, there's going to be less demand. The prices go down because you want to try to get those things going up. That's basic economics. You don't have to be a economics major to understand that. The housing shortage we have in the United States of America is intentional. That's intentional to raise the prices. You have all of this demand and it raises the prices. They don't want to build all the houses that they need because they can't make any money off of it. That's it. Another one of the reasons in the autopsy that they mentioned was the lack of black men's support. When 15% of black men decide not to continue to vote for nothing and vote for the other side, that was very telling. And then you had a bad candidate. Now, even though the $220 million was an issue, and I get that as a political person, if I want to win, I'm going to get a politician that can win. The money is irrelevant if you got a good politician. I mean, it's irrelevant. You don't have to have a lot of money. You just have to have good ideas and messaging. That's how I feel about it. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. If you have a good politician that can communicate a message that resonates with the voter, you're going to be okay. She had all that money and got blown out. All that money went to this. I mean, nobody believed in her. The Democratic machine, they knew they were going to lose. And so they decided to take that money and put it in their pockets. This is what the Democratic Party did. It's in the autopsy report. I'm not here to make you guys change your mind about your party affiliation. I could care less. I just want you to be an informed voter. Do better. Lack of policies. Concrete policies was another one. The lack of calling out Gaza and the genocide that was going on there. She made so many mistakes. The lack of podcasting and talking to the grassroots. Kamala Harris was a terrible candidate. With all that money, she did worse. Less money Donald Trump had, and he did better because his messaging was better. I could go on and on and on about the Democrats and immigration. That was a big part of the autopsy. The illegal immigration and the border. This is what cost them the election, and the Democratic voter stayed home. Not the independent like me, not the Republican. The Democratic voter stayed home. Bad candidate, no messaging, illegal immigration. Cost them the election. 11 million people minimum. Between 11 million and 27 million people have entered this country. Black people cannot screw and have enough sex to match those numbers. We have basically, the Democratic Party has basically buried the black question in regards to government. Our voices have been silenced because we do not have the numbers. And now all of these black bootlicks, Clyburn, Al Green, Ralph Warnock's going to be next, and so on, so on, so forth. All of these people, he's a senator, but you guys know what I'm saying. All of these, Maxine Waters, all of these people are going to be booted out. Lost their jobs because they didn't do their jobs. They didn't deliver anything tangible. And black people don't give a damn that they lost their jobs. They constantly lie to us. Lie. Oh, you can't vote now. Oh my gosh, you got Martin Luther King and and it's not true. None of it is true. Not one iota. How many lies are you going to have to go through before you wake up? The truth is the truth. And this autopsy really didn't address the Gaza genocide. It really didn't address the trans situation with the kids and sports and, just these simple things. The Democrats have doubled down. They've doubled down on it. They're still fighting for the immigrants. All of this scandal with the immigrants, not one Republican has been caught up in it. I wonder why. But 1 million veterans are sitting on the side of the street homeless. National disgrace. Nobody's trying to fix that. Democrats, the party of black folks, but yet the number one homeless group of people in America are black folks. Karen Bass can give $1 million to 917 Asians that are homeless. $1 million, even though there's over 22,000 black people homeless in LA, the city of LA, according to their numbers, didn't give them a dime. Then she has the nerve to run around here and brag that homelessness has gone down by 15% in LA County. But for those of you guys that don't live here in California, what she's not telling you is the reason why it's gone down is because she's shipping them out to the Inland Empire, where I live. That's why it's gone down. She's shipping them out because the Olympics are coming and all that. They're trying to clean everything up before all of this stuff is, because you can't get vendors and people to come into the city and the world to see the feces on the street, the zombies walking on the street. So what does she do? She ships them out to the Inland Empire, out to the high desert, Victorville, for those of you guys in the military, George Air Force Base area, out to Edwards and Lancaster, Edwards Air Force Base, Lancaster area. That's why homelessness has gone down. Because while homeless has gone down in LA County, it's gone up in Riverside County, where I live, San Bernardino County. These are the games that they play. And this is democratic rule. So those of you guys that do not live in California, you do not understand what democratic policies will do. Gavin Newsom, look at California, destroyed. Kamala Harris is from California, destroyed. This is what you want for the nation? You can give Angelino cards to illegal immigrants because they're scared to come outside, but you can't give $1 to the American people? I'm confused. A lot of people have messaged me and have woken up and said, wow, I don't know what it is that woke them up, but I guess is what they're seeing on TV and what they're seeing Donald Trump do, giving reparations over here, maybe finding out that you don't need Congress to authorize reparations. Hey, April Lang, good day, good morning. You always seem to pop in toward the end of my lives here, but it's good to see you. But toward the end, Donald Trump, doing these things, we are finding out how politics really works. All of this money that was supposed to go to these black districts, what happened to it? Where is this money that these black politicians that are now worried about their jobs, where did all that money go? Nobody knows. So I just wanted to address that. Again, I really wish some of you guys that said some very nasty things and didn't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm happy that you now see what I saw. Maybe you had the epiphany that I had, but better late than never. But unfortunately, in my opinion, we're done. As a people, we're done. If the Democrats get back in power, even if they just got the House and they obstruct government, we're done. We are at a point to where we need resources now. Not down the road, not this, not that. If they can give it to the illegals immediately, I'm an American citizen. I should get the same treatment. So will we ever know? The audits are leaking red ink. Yeah, it's the truth is painful sometimes. The truth is painful. But in my opinion, it's too late. We have rigged the system against our own children and our own grandchildren. Right now, Donald Trump is fighting for the 14th Amendment and getting rid of birthright citizenship, which helps black people. You cannot go into another country and give birth and that child is a citizen of that country. Nowhere in the world does that exist. But I hate Trump. I just hate Trump. And then when I asked a few of my friends, why is it that you hate Trump? They couldn't articulate a real reason. And what I mean by a real reason, when they say, well, he did this, and then I would go, Obama did that. Well, he did this. Hillary did that. Trump is doing nothing no different than what politicians do. Oh, he started a war. Obama went into Libya, murdered the man, and took over the oil and gave it to the corporations. See, and when you come at them like that, I'm not telling them Republicans are any better. I'm saying that class of politician, they all do it. So why do you hate Trump but you love Obama, who didn't do a damn thing for you? Well, Trump didn't do nothing either. He's fighting for the 14th Amendment right now. Out of his mouth, he said birthright citizenship was for the slave. How many presidents have said that? Directly have said something that is for black people. He's getting these illegals out here, which affects black people. How are kids going to find a job? They can't speak Spanish. AI is here. These people gatekeep. I live in Tijuana right now. I've got Mexican freeze cup carts and burrito stands just popping up in my neighborhood. You're not supposed to be doing that in a residential neighborhood. Who authorized that? Hey, Rodney, what's going on, my brother? See, here's the thing is, April, the Democrats are not pursuing reparations. All of these Democratic shills, that were telling us a few years ago, oh, it ain't gonna happen. Oh, you gotta vote people in to get you reparations. You gotta do this. You gotta vote more Democrats in. What they're doing is they're desperate. They're saying these key words, trying to sound like us. I'll give you a better example. Joe Biden said, if you get me the Senate, I will get you a George Floyd bill. I will get you a voting rights bill. I will get you a task force on federal whatever, basically crime bill, whatever the deal was, right? We get him the Senate. He has all three forms of government. And what did he do? He wasn't even inaugurated yet. Got the so-called black leaders together and said, everything that I promised, forget it. Forget it. You need to get behind the Mexicans. They say what they've got to say to get into it. So are we going to fall for that again? So this is their talking points now, because they know, according to the Democratic Autopsy, they lost 15% of black men in 2024. They're still bleeding them. Now the young people are being turned off by the Democratic Party because they see no future. They see no policy. They see nothing. This is how desperate they are. Joy Reid, oh, now Trump doing now we know how to do reparations. We can get reparations. I thought, Joy Reid, you're a political genius and guru. You could do anything by executive order. Didn't Obama give the Dreamers status that they still have today, that they're still litigating in court? No, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen under the Democrats. It's not. At least under the civil rights era type Democrats. Nancy Pelosi, all those years she was Speaker of the House, never brought H.R. 40 to the floor for a vote. Never brought it to the floor. So what does that tell you? And she's from California. It's insanity. All of this is insanity. And you've got black people who will sit there on camera and fight for people that should not even be here, putting their children in competition. When you go to a job, the job's paying good money, good benefits. It's down between you and two other people. Now, you hate the fact that the two other people you got to compete against just to get that job, but this is your last step. Then they bring in 50 people. Would you rather compete against 2 people or 50 more people? This is what the Democratic Party has done to black people and our children. And both parties have worked together to make sure the black family is destroyed. You guys ever wonder how these spamming people keep calling you and keep calling you, and you keep blocking them and keep blocking them? Isn't there a law that, you see what I'm saying? There's no teeth in these laws. I get the same call every day. I get 2 or 3 calls a day at the same exact time. Sad. Rodney Brown says, absolutely correct, my brother, and both parties do the same thing. Yeah. They conspire to break the black family and keep us at the bottom of this economic system. It's amazing to me. I was at the store the other day, and there's these Asians, and most likely Vietnamese, that just cut right in front of me, right in the store, like I didn't even exist. I almost lost it. I had to tell the Asian lady, are you fucking out of your mind? I said, in this country, you don't do that. And it's amazing to me. I don't know how long she's been in the country, but forever how long she's been in the country, she can't speak English, which is to me disrespectful in and of itself. I go down to the Dominican Republic all the time. At least I make an effort to speak poquito Española, right? could never be a citizen there. They're changing some law where you can get like a visa to do whatever, but in retirement visa or whatever. But I have no aspirations to do that. But the point is, when I go down there, I'm very respectful of their cultures and their ways of doing things. These people come here and they bring their cultural racism with them, and they just think they can just shit on black people as if we don't exist and we're nothing, and like we ain't got these damn hands. Do you see what I'm saying? It's the Latinos do it. They all do it. You come from your shithole country to my country, and you think you're better than me. You know, and I'm not having that. As a military veteran, I'm not having that. And when I speak up, other black folks are like, oh man, let it go, let it go. Now, fuck that. Fuck that. You're not going to come to my country and be disrespectful toward me. I represent this country. I'm a damn veteran. When I go to your country, I don't go and rape your women and, grab on your women and be disrespectful and spit on the ground and do all that dumb shit. Throw trash on the ground. Here in my community, I'm looking at the young Mexican kids in the park and they're throwing their trash on the ground like this is Mexico. And I'm not supposed to say anything? It's insanity. And for those of you people who don't experience that right now, it's just a matter of time. Yeah, you can sit in your gated community, your HOA all you want. It's just a matter of time. They're going to sneak their way onto the school board. They're going to sneak their way onto the city council. And next thing you know, they're going to push your ass right on out like they do to black people here in California. We have no political voice. We have no representation here. 6% of California is black, and we're hemorrhaging. And that's even questionable because there's a big African community that is here in LA. So it's questionable. Just because you have black skin doesn't mean you're black. Are you FBA? Which is another reason it doesn't make sense why they won't pay reparations, because just because people have black skin doesn't mean they're FBA. We've got a lot of Jamaican cousins here, Caribbean cousins here, African cousins here. They're not getting no money from here. It would be cheaper to pay the reparations. But they just don't want black people, period. Unless we're entertainers and athletes. That's it. That's it. April says, folks are still blaming blacks for not voting for Kamala and blaming those blacks who voted for Trump, when in fact it was white women and white men who voted 45-47 in droves. Exactly, just like Hillary. Hillary lost because the white women voted against her. She was a bad candidate. I mean, she was very qualified. I'll give her that. She was the most qualified candidate ever to run for president. But the white women betrayed her. And Rodney says they were very disrespectful and very ignorant. Yeah. I was in line at the thrift store with my bicycle. A woman cleared her throat like she was irritated that I was in line awaiting my turn. I immediately looked her square in the eyes and asked if there was a problem. Nope. Silence. Exactly. That's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get. But they make it seem like we ain't got these hands. You know, I'm going to show them what America's really about. See, that's what I'm about. You're in this country. If you're not respectful, I'm not respectful. But see, in their country, they have class systems. There's a caste system. But you're not in your country. But see, that's another thing. They're trying to turn this country into their country. And that's the problem. So anyway, you guys, just wanted to talk about that. A lot of people have been talking shit about I'm not speaking on Trump giving white people reparations and stuff. Why would I be surprised by a white man that is doing for his supporters like he's supposed to? You should be upset that your people that you vote for don't bring home the bacon for you. Isn't that the question? Isn't that the real question? Why isn't Maxine Waters delivering for the black people down in South Central Los Angeles? Why isn't Brandon Johnson, the idiot mayor up in Chicago, delivering for the black people instead of taking their damn homes? Why isn't Al Green, now that he's gone, not doing for the black people down in Houston? The tangibles. Jim Clyburn, number 3 Democrat, number 3, has the poorest district in the country. Please explain. That doesn't even make sense to me. You are the 3rd most powerful Democrat, or was, whatever it is, and you have the poorest district. How? How, Sway? How, Sway? How? He should be able to move resources right into his district because he stands at number 3. The biggest problem in the black community is these immigrants, especially the immigrants that look like us. Because, and this is my opinion, I believe you should, if you immigrate here, you cannot hold political office unless you're 3rd generation. How can somebody who comes from another country come to this country, immigrate to this country, and have say-so in what and where the resources go? I can't immigrate to the DR and have say-so and be elected to boards over there. This is what I be trying to tell people. See, and a lot of Americans, we don't really travel, so we really don't know how other countries operate. Be a black person and go to anywhere in Asia and try to run for office. They'd run you right out of the country. Go to France, anywhere in Europe. You could be a citizen there. It's going to take 10, 15 years. You got to speak their fluent language. So there's so many parameters to do it. And if you don't, they're going to get you the hell up out of there if you're there illegally. It's sad. April says the thing about paying the reparations is that one drop rule. What's the best route to ensure we get the reparations? DNA or lineage? Lineage. Lineage is the best way. Because all DNA is going to prove it. It's like, I'm very sure, being a descendant of African, I've got, my DNA probably goes somewhere Caribbean out somewhere. So lineage. And you got to remember, April, slavery for some of us is only 4 generations back. My family, from where I'm at right now, slavery for me is 4 generations back. So my grandfather's grandfather would have been a slave. They make it seem like slavery was 400 years ago, 500 years ago, and it wasn't. You're talking about less than 200 years. 4 generations back for me. The average, I would say, is 5 now. But you're talking about 4 generations from where I'm at. I can trace my thing back to slavery. My grandfather's grandfather would have been a slave. My grandfather was born in 1926 or something like that. 26, 24, around that time. So just think about that. Right? So she says, correct, these folks have been wolves in sheep's clothing the whole time. I've concluded the folks in these positions are ineptly ignorant of their roles. These folks are incompetent. And it's coming out that these people are doing backdoor deals. This is why Clyburn at first thought his district was safe from the redistricting thing that is coming down, right? He was like, okay, I'm safe, I'm good. But see, Trump called the governor over there and told him, oh no, we're not honoring Clyburn's backdoor deal he did with the Republicans when he did what he did. And now his district, he's out of there. He's going to be out of there. That's what I'm saying. Trump, piece of crap. I get it. I'm with you on that. But I also give the man credit for what he tried to do. Like, everybody talks about Idi Amin, right? Uganda. Oh, he was such a tyrant and he just killed all these people. Yes, I agree. But what was the one thing Idi Amin did for his people? He kicked the Asians out and made the Ugandans control their own economy, rather having another group control it. Give him his flowers. Give him his flowers. His people now control their own economy, rather than having a bunch of Indians do it and making all the money. Marion Barry, American Story. Marion Barry, yes, he got caught on camera smoking crack, right? Yes, got caught. But you cannot ever say Marion Barry didn't do for his people. That's why he kept getting reelected, because he brought the goods. People better wake up. The peripheral we get, we understand. Yes, that's bad. Oh, bad, bad. Trump bad. We get it. But let's pick out what he's doing for us. Illegal immigration helps us. He's fighting for the birthright citizenship, getting these people up out of here. The prison reform that he's doing. So on, and so forth. You know, it's just crazy. Yeah, April, we did a story on that. The mayor in New Orleans. And guess what she's going to do? She's going to steer contracts and everything to her people like she's supposed to. 60%, 64% city that is black is now run by a Mexican mayor, white Mexican mayor, born in Mexico, who is now the shot caller in a black town. Yes. How did that happen? But let's talk about the mayor before her. Black woman, corrupt, in an affair. I can't think of anything positive that woman did in her, I think she did 2 terms, that I can say was really, really positive. Things got worse in New Orleans under this woman's leadership. A black woman. I mean, April, let me ask you this. Is it safe to say, possibly, that black leadership at the ground level, at the ground level is shit? Is it safe to say that? Because that's what it seems like. I have a podcast that's called Black Politicians Ain't Shit. And nobody could prove me wrong. Black politicians ain't shit. John Lewis, he was a great civil rights person. Correct. Did a lot for civil rights. But when he became a congressman, what did he do for his people? When that man died, I put his record out there. People tried to come for me, but it was the truth. He had nothing in his congressional record that was for black people. But he was for the DACA, he was for the gays, he was for Israel, he was for this, and he was for that. And if you look at his campaign contributions, just as he's getting ready to die, he made more money in the year that he died than he ever made in contributions as a congressman. And then look at his district. Shithole. It's a shithole. Facts are the facts. But people like you and I, we're paranoid, or we're sellouts, or we don't understand politics, or we don't understand this, we don't understand economics. I do understand the more demand you have, the higher the price. The less demand you have, the lesser the price. That's basic economics. So when you flood this country in with 27 million illegals that are looking for housing, that are looking for food, that are trying to fill their gas trucks up, they're trying to fill their weed eaters up, and so on, gas prices go up, everything goes up. Yeah, Michael Jackson song, They Really Don't Care About Us. Damn, Michael was such a visionary. He was such a visionary. And they ended up doing him in. You know? So what's the answer, Donovan? Do we start our own party? No. No. And the reason I say we don't start our own party is because when a third party rises, both parties attack it. Right? So that's not the answer. This system that we call democracy operates on a two-party system. This is not parliamentary where you could have different parties, right? Name me in American history where a party other than historically the Democratic or the Republican Party has been in charge. Good cop, bad cop doesn't work when you have another cop in the room. It doesn't work. So I say we be independent. That way both parties have to work to get our votes. You're not going to be successful with the third party. We've got an independent party. We've got a Green Party. They're not going anywhere. They don't have the money. They don't have the resources. The resources are these two parties. This is how this system is set up. We are not a parliamentary democracy. Because at least in a parliamentary democracy, even though you only have 2 seats, you still have that representation, right? This party, it's either this or that. So if it's either this or that, let's stay in the middle and make them work. So I just wanted to address some of those people that say, oh, you ain't talking about Trump now. He giving money to the da-da-da-da-da. And what's new? What's new? Karen Bass just gave $1 million to 917 Asians that are homeless in LA, in the city of LA. 21,000 in the city of LA are homeless. She didn't give them a dime. April says, I remember voting for Jill Stein, calling myself being the change I wanted to see. Well, again, Jill Stein upset the apple cart. I mean, and see that, and that's what I'm saying. That party could be strong enough to upset an election, but they won't get in themselves. The other party will get in, you know, whatever party that is. So, yeah. But anyway, let me go walk this dog. Got a lot of stuff to do. A couple more weeks with this hardware store, and then I'm done doing this guy a solid. But I wanted to address that real quick. And again, please check out the African Diaspora News Channel app on Google Play, Apple Store. Don't forget to watch Dimitri K and I on Sundays, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central Time. I'll be dropping more videos as we go. Political season is kicking. Al Green just lost his seat. These black people are getting vicious. Debbie Wasserman Schultz said, here, hold my beer. I'm running in this black district. You Negroes get out of the way. Civil war within the Democratic Party, and the young people are looking at this saying, what the hell is going on? The lady that resigned from that district, that's still under a, she's going to court for corruption, Haitian descent, immigrant. She's a Haitian immigrant. Had that big old yellow ring in her official photo, took $5 million from FEMA. All these immigrants are grifting. All of them. She's running for the seat again. She resigned from Congress so that she doesn't get a forever lifetime ban. But that doesn't stop her from running again. She's running for the seat again. What a damn fool. But we'll see. Yeah. Civil war within the Democratic Party. All right, you guys, and people are waking up. So for those of you guys that have text messaged me and said, hey, you know, you're right about this, Donovan, you're right about that. It isn't about me being right. It's about you being an informed voter. I'm just throwing my opinion out there and my ideas. All right, stay fine. All right. Tiffany Henyard, real quick, but she won her primary, but she ran unopposed. She's probably going to lose the general election. But again, that's something that she can put on her political resume. And if the people of Atlanta vote this woman in, the woman's a scammer. She's very corrupt, but she's in the land of corruption and, you know, black corruption and all this, black gay and all this other stuff, right? So she's where she needs to be. So she's probably most likely going to lose the general election, but she won her primary. So Tiffany Henyard. All right, you guys, we will talk to you guys mañana. If you don't know Spanish, you better start learning. See you guys later.